Monkey D. Luffy is the grandson of the legendary Monkey D. Garp, the only man able to battle Gold D. Roger to a standstill, and holds the prestigious title of defeating the Rocks Pirates at God Valley, with Roger's help. The Rocks Pirate crew would be the origin for 3 of the 4 Emperors of the Sea. Going forward, I will assume you have seen my previous video on One Piece or know a bit about the series. I recommend checking out the series first, and please support the official release. Spoilers from here. Now, Luffy's father is the worst criminal, Monkey D. Dragon, and his mother is currently unknown, but will likely be revealed in the series' final arc. Luffy was born in the Goa Kingdom in the East Blue Sea, 17 years before the series started on May 5, 1997. Despite being his grandfather, Garp acted as a father to both Luffy and Ace. Being a high-ranking Marine officer, Vice Admiral Garp didn't have much free time to raise 2 kids, so he had a group of bandits look after them. Curly Dadan, Dogura and Magura make up the prolific Dadan gang. They were the caretakers of Ace first, then of Luffy. More on them later, so let's start at the beginning. We first see Luffy in Fusha Village, a small settlement located in the opposite side of the Dawn Island, Goa Kingdom. This small village is fairly insubstantial and not worth attention, likely why Garp chose to have his grandsons raised there. Tucked away in the northeastern corner of the world government and their marines paid little mind to the kingdom. So a group of pirates known as the Red Hair Pirates, led by the straw hat wearing Shanks, chose to relax here. These pirates were relatively well behaved in the town, relaxing, and getting drunk. Notable among the Red Hair Pirates was Yasopp the Sniper. A massive beast, known as a Sea King, would dominate the coast, gaining the name Lord of the Coast. Eventually, Shanks and his crew would raid a ship and capture a purple fruit with spirals on it. This fruit was known as the Gomu Gomu no Mi, or the Rubber Fruit. The Red Hair Pirates would go to Party's bar in Fusha Village to celebrate. Luffy would say that he's ready to become a pirate at age 7, and that he was a good swimmer. Shanks would tell him that he was too young, and being a pirate takes more than just being a good swimmer. To prove himself, he takes out a dagger and stabs under his right eye. His cut was patched up and things settled down in the bar. While they partied, a bandit group led by Higuma entered the bar and tried to show their strength. He would flaunt his 8 million berry or currency bounty. Around this time, Luffy would eat the devil fruit that the pirates had captured, without anyone noticing. Despite Higuma smashing the bottle from Shanks' hand and making a mess, he eventually left with no reaction from Shanks. Luffy would complain about Shanks letting himself be humiliated. He'd say it was just sake and nothing to get worked up about. Shanks laughed. The Red Hair Pirates would eventually discover Luffy ate the devil fruit, and by the time anyone could take action, the fruit had already taken effect, giving them rubber-like properties, such as stretchy arms. After some time, Luffy would have a brief scuffle with Higuma and his gang after he demanded they apologize. Red Hair Pirates would approach and a bandit would point a gun at Shanks. Massive mistake. The bandit would be shot and the Red Hair Pirates would wipe out the bandits. Luffy was taken out to sea on a boat, with Higuma, who threw him into the water. The King of the Coast would devour the ship whole with a bandit on it. Shanks would drive the Sea King away using Conker's Haki, saving Luffy, at the cost of his left arm. Before the Red Hair Pirates set sail, Shanks would give Luffy a straw hat, saying to keep it safe for him, that he'll get it back when Luffy's a great pirate. Garp would take Luffy, straw hat and rubber abilities included, and put him in the care of the Dadan Gang, a criminal group who, in Garp's own words, crimes outnumber the stars. Perfect to look after children. It would be then when Monkey D. Luffy would meet his grandfather's other grandson and Luffy's brother, Portuguese D. Ace. Ace's father, who was, massive spoiler warning, Gold D. Roger, knew that he couldn't be there for his son, so he asked Garp, who he saw as a close friend, to look after him. His mother, Portuguese D. Rouge, would die shortly after giving birth to him, having extended her pregnancy to 22 months as to protect Ace from groups looking to wipe out any child of Roger, leaving Ace entirely in Garp's care. Ace would have a lot of anger issues in his youth, leading him to often get into fights. When he met Luffy, someone 3 years his junior, he didn't like him. Despite both of them being in the care of Dadan and her group, Ace would often venture out into the woods, leaving Luffy by himself. He would try to be his friend, but Ace would continue to reject him, seeing him as a crybaby. After about 3 months of following Ace, he discovered him and his friend Sabo in their secret hideout counting their money. These two 10-year-olds acted as thugs, robbing petty criminals so they could build up enough money, known as Peli, or Bere, to buy a ship and set sail as pirates. In the Goa Kingdom, 4 main regions are shown: Fusha Village, Mount Palubo or Corvo, the Goa capital and Great Terminal. Great Terminal is a shanty town located outside the capital city's wall, and where the denizens dump all their rubbish. Goa is a kingdom free of trash as all waste is sent outside the walls. The capital is divided into 3 regions: the Monarch's region, the Nobility region and the People's District. Many people live and scavenge through Great Terminal. This area is devoid of law and medicinal help. Now to say that Sabo and Ace didn't like Luffy would be an understatement, as they were both willing to kill him to keep the location of their stolen money. The only reason they didn't, was because Porkumi of the Blue Pirates was hunting the duo down. If the pirates hadn't entered, these 10-year-olds were 100% down with killing a 7-year-old. The Blue Pirates managed to find Luffy and demand to know where Ace is. Luffy responds, in the most obvious lying tone, that he doesn't know. The pirates decided to take him and make him talk. With Luffy taken, Sabo and Ace decide to use this opportunity to move their stolen goods, as it wouldn't be long until the pirates made Luffy reveal their hideout. Why wouldn't he? Ace had spent the better part of several months ignoring him, while Sabo had known him for like 5 minutes at most, and they were about to murder him. The duo managed to relocate their treasure, only to find that Luffy hadn't revealed their location. When Ace and Sabo broke into the pirates' hideout, they found Luffy tied up like a speed bag, dripping blood. Ace declared that he wouldn't run and would fight Porkumi, the pirate who spent the majority of the day punching Luffy with spiked gloves. The trio barely managed to defeat him and escape. They bonded and Sabo moved in with Luffy and Ace. Time passed and the people of Dawn Island were notified that someone known as a Tenryubito, or a celestial dragon, would be visiting soon. The trio would sneak into the capital and cause problems by having fun. As they are escaping from the local guards, a man known as Outlook the Third calls out to Sabo. Luffy and Ace would learn that he was Sabo's father. He had run away from home as his parents were emotionally negligent, constantly making him study, learn and treating him as a pawn to advance their family's social standing. So he ran away and made the decision with Ace to become pirates, to have the freedom that they were lacking. So hearing his reason, Ace brings out a stolen bottle and pours 3 saucers. This process is known as a Sakazuki or sake cup ceremony. Ace pours out of the liquid into the cups and has each of them drink. This is known as the Kyodai Sakazuki, or the Brothers Sake Cup Ceremony. This pledge symbolizes that the 3 are equals, cementing a brotherly bond. A brief montage of them bonding would be interrupted by Outlook the Third hiring the Blue Pirates to bring Sabo under heel, with the Kingdom's Guard acting as enforcers. He agrees under duress to protect Luffy and Ace from being murdered by pirates. So he goes off and the now duo stays with the Blue Pirates. Captain Blue would tell them he can let them go after Sabo, telling them to leave him if they really care about their brother, saying that he'd like to be a noble. He then told them to carry some marked crates and place him around Great Terminal as he had a job for them. Outlook the Third emotionally manipulated and physically abused Sabo to have the local government see that Sabo was forced to break the law by Ace and Luffy, bribing the official to agree. In the event that they wouldn't have found Sabo, his parents adopted a noble 8-year-old, Staley, having a backup plan in case Sabo is a failure, which they let him know. It was from his brother Staley that he would learn about the plot to burn down Great Terminal, saying that they were going to burn away all the town's filth, people included. Sabo went out and tried to stop it, yet every noble he talked to was aware of and supported the plan to burn away the filth. The masked guards and the Blue Pirates were in on it, with the pirates setting up oil and explosives through Great Terminal, using Luffy and Ace. Ace and Luffy quickly found out about the plan and tried to stop it. Given that they were up against adult pirates, they were tied up and left in now burning Shanty Town. Bluejum and his crew were told by the king that they were to burn the slums and be granted the title of nobility. The guards then lock the gate and leave the pirates to burn. Surprised that the people who are willing to let people burn outside the walls are willing to double-cross pirates. Sabo eventually collapses and grabs a cloaked man, pleading for him to believe him that the nobles were responsible. He told the child that he believed him. This part is incredible, so I'll quote him directly. "There's something in this district that stinks worse than the trash heap ever did. The people of this district are rotten on the inside. If I stay here, I'll never be free. I'm so ashamed to have been born a noble." This cloaked man, who we learn is named Dragon, was born in Goa and was stunned by what the child was saying. Realizing they were screwed, Bluejum threatened Ace and Luffy, saying to hand over their stolen treasure as the Bluejum pirate ship had went up in flames. Ace tells them to go find it on their own, because it's probably burned away already. The pirates threaten their lives, and one of the pirates slices Luffy. Ace unknowingly activated his Conqueror's Haki, making most of the pirates pass out. If it wasn't for the timely intervention of Dadan and her gang, Bluejum would have killed him. The injured Luffy is carried away by Dogura, while Ace refused to run. He never runs from a fight and faces down Bluejum with Dadan helping him. Back to the literal inferno, the majority of the people are saved when a path through the flames to the coast opens up. At the end is Dragon and his men. They help the people and offer them a chance at freedom. They are the revolutionaries and they're striking back against the governments who are willing to let an entire group of people burn due to their status. By the time the fire died the next day, Luffy and Dadan's gang waited for their family's return. Doguro looked out at the coast to see a small fishing boat flying a Jolly Roger with an S instead of a skull. Unfortunately for him, Saint Jalamak, the Tenryubito, happened to be approaching Goa. He personally fired on the ship as it was flying the pirate flag, and destroyed it. The broken ship and Sabo's hat sink into the sea. A clear sign of his passing without showing it. Running, Ace entered the cabin carrying Dadan. Placing the heavily burned Dadan down, Luffy cries thinking he almost lost Ace. He tells him that real men don't sit around and cry, so stop. Dadan asked Ace why he didn't run, and he said that his blood wouldn't let him. This reminded Dadan of something that Garp told her. Roger was fiercely protective of his family and crew, destroying an entire nation's military for speaking ill of his crew. Shortly after, Dogger would approach the house, telling what happened to Sabo and his ship. Naturally, Ace, Luffy and Dadan didn't want to believe. They barely managed to stop Ace before he could go out and kill the one responsible for killing Sabo. Dadan gets him to stop, saying that it was the country, the world who killed Sabo. What could a 10-year-old do against the world? A seagull, which was a mail delivery service, gave Dogger a letter that was written by Sabo before he set sail. I highly recommend reading the original speech. The note says that recent changes means that he has to set sail, saying that he'd meet his brothers out on the sea. Quote, Luffy may still be pretty weak, and a bit of a crybaby, but he's our little brother. Look after him for me. We then saw Ace break down in cheers. The panel slowly zooming out to show the lone figure crying on the cliffside. Some time would pass and Luffy would make Ace promise that he wouldn't die. Ace promises and says that no matter what, they will have to live their lives without regrets. Time would pass and the two would grow and develop. Well aware of the gap that Sabo left behind. When Ace turned 17, he set sail. Dadan crying at seeing him go. Luffy would set sail 3 years later. He would be confronted by the king of the coast. To show his increased strength, he unleashed a powerful punch and knocked the Sea King out. From here on, the series continues and Luffy sets sail on being a pirate. If you want me to go over the rest of the Romance Dawn arc, and the other arcs of the series, please let me know. Hope you enjoyed and please share. Thanks for watching.